What is going on, guys? I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about KARDENA. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. KARDENA. I don't know. Whatever. We're talking about this one today, and it has recently massively pumped. So this is not going to be any kind of predictive video that's like, oh, this is gonna, fly to the moon. I am going to be talking about what I think is next for this, and just breaking down a few of the things I like about this, and a few of the things I dislike about it, a few of the collaborations I really like, etc. Why this pump happened the way it did, because if we can analyze why it did, then it will help with spotting things like this in the future. And also, I still think this has a fair amount of room to grow, provided they do a few things, which I will discuss in this video. So I really hope that you enjoy it. I'm going to make it short, sweet, simple, to the point. Let's get on with it. So first thing, what does KDA do? It is a digital currency that is used to pay for compute. That doesn't make sense, I don't think. On the KARDENA public chain, similar to ETH on Ethereum, KDA on KARDENA is the manner by which miners are compensated for mining blocks on the network. Okay, so the long and short of it is it's very similar to Ethereum, Solana, all of these other smart contract platforms, except for it allows speed and lower transaction costs. Okay, that's, again, with the scalability issues of Ethereum, it is just another one of those competitors. Now, if we look at first and foremost the coins in circulation down here, you will notice that over time, the supply will increase. In the short term, it will increase quite a bit. So I'd imagine, based on this timeline here, that is over the next kind of 3 years, next two, maybe probably at this point now, the next year or so, we're going to be seeing that accelerated supply drop, and then from dropping into the market, and then from there on, it's going to kind of level out. Now, of course, this is a massive increase all the way up here to almost to basically just under 1 billion in circulation, in supply. However, that is by 21. So that's over 100 years. And so the inflation rate here really isn't that bad at all. Okay. And so right here, this is another really good thing. It's never good to have a coin where, 30% or 40, 50% of the coins and the tokens are distributed to the investors and the creators of the project. It's always much better to have most of it resting in the hands of people who aren't directly associated with the project, because it shows that it has some real value. So let's look at why it grew and why we saw this huge spike. So right here is just one of many examples on their Twitter feed, which is just an absolute goldmine. And for pretty much looking at any project, is UFO. If you don't know what UFO is, it's a gaming platform. It's a very exciting project. I will make a video on this specifically, but it's a very good project. And so essentially, they will be building their NFT gaming platform on KARDENA. Okay, now UFO is extremely popular. If I just whip up the chart here to show you, just go here. Okay, so UFO's had a crazy run. We're at only $711 million market cap, but we had this crazy run. And it's a very exciting project. I would be surprised if we didn't at least come to test all-time highs really with this. It looks like the major corrective phase is over. Of course, it could just be a distribution and we could be heading lower before an overall bull run, or it could just crash to the floor. These are obviously all of these scenarios that are on the table with any coin. Okay, and so UFO will utilize KARDENA's unique features from our scalable layer 1 POW. So POW stands for proof of work. Now, this is the original technology that Bitcoin was based off of, but one of the limitations of it back in the day was the transaction speeds. And so this has solved that problem, because it has allowed faster speed while sustaining that original proof of work blockchain, which is quite a unique thing. I believe it's one of the only layer ones that smart contracts to do this, but I may be wrong. Feel free to crucify me in the comments below. So to create the next generation blockchain gaming experience. Okay, so obviously that crypto gaming is a huge thing that I really love, and it's very popular now within the crypto space, and for good reason. And so this doesn't really need much more explaining. Okay, and so the next thing is let me just go through my notes here. So let's go through the technicals quickly. So what have we got here? So if we look on TradingView right here, we can see, a standard kind of chart that has gone parabolic like this. It's kind of moved up, but it gives you a lot more data than CoinMarketCap does because it includes the open, the high, the low, and the close of the candles, which is demonstrated visually with the wicks and the bodies of the candles as well. Now, if you don't know what all that jargon means, do not worry whatsoever. If we just look at this in terms of how prices are moving, we can see the volatility has been absolutely through the roof. And then we have kind of broken out of this visual line right here. There's nothing special about this line. I'm not drawing it from specific points. It's just a general view of momentum. We can clearly see that momentum has visually slowed, and then we've begun coming down here. We can see very clearly, if we go from here, how momentum has slowed, and we are wicking and grabbing liquidity below these areas. And so again, as I discussed in my Bitcoin, the first Bitcoin video on this channel, after we see these kind of moves, what we're looking for is major structural highs to break. And so for me, we've seen a minor structural break right here, changing kind of shorter term momentum. Now, the next logical target for me is because you could even argue that that is a break because we did see a close above. However, for me, the ideal place that we would break is up here. Now, once we break this level up here, that's going to be the ultimate for me. And so the way that I'm approaching this, small bag here. If we break and we hold above this level, I'll enter another bit here. If we do end up going lower, which is always possible, I will be looking for at least this level to be met, but more than likely, I'll be looking for prices to go below this level before I'd consider getting in again. Because you've got to bear in mind that as soon as prices begin to break past these levels, like so, what's going to happen is it's showing you an indication that it may want to go low and grab more liquidity before we eventually see the rise up. Now, of course, it could just go downwards. Again, it's very heavily pegged to Ethereum. And if we compare this to Ethereum right here, so we can see Ethereum very clearly has been testing all-time highs. It's absolutely been smashing it, stayed above. We had a weekly close above, I believe. Yeah, we did. And so Ethereum is on the up. It does look, if we just look at the curve of momentum, it does look like we are accelerating at this point, which is a very, very good sign. And, following a lot of people's predictions, towards at the moment, towards how Ethereum is likely to go through to December, January, etc. People like Raoul Pal, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but that guy have been talking about for ages. And so this is very, very interesting. It's a very interesting time. You can see this is obviously a lot more volatile, so the method has to change slightly. But the long and short of it is this is very, very interesting for now. And I do see this continuing to grow. And the things that I'm specifically looking for are going to be waiting for, number one, a deeper correction if it happens, or if we just get signals that it's going to go up anyway, then that's fine for me. Because if we look at the market cap currently, it's 2.7 billion. That's great. It's pretty high, but then you've got to understand the potential for these things is also very high as well. If you just look at the market cap of Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, all of these platforms as well. And so if it does well, similar to Avalanche and stuff like that, then it has the potential to grow massively. But yeah, so the next thing that I want to talk about is, okay, so what am I looking for? So I am looking to pay very close attention to announcements that come that are released in relation to things like the swap exchange. So what this is, if you do not know, so let me just get this up. KARDENA, KARDENA swap. Let's look at the images, see if we can get one up here. Okay, so here we go. So if you go to something like PancakeSwap or a different kind of exchange or Uniswap, you will often notice that they are pegged to one particular blockchain or one network. So you won't have often BNB for Binance or Ethereum on the same swap, whereas KARDENA swap proposes to have a multi-blockchain exchange. Now, this is really, really powerful because if you think about what this means, and if it does come out, because I know there's been some difficulty with bringing it out, this means that the barrier to entry for people who, aren't that tech savvy and want to get into, go on PancakeSwap and connect your wallet and all of this other stuff, it just makes it that little bit easier. And I think that anything that bridges the gap between complexity and simplicity allows the bridge to be made between the general consumer who isn't, spending all their time researching crypto and all the different ways to get involved. And that lowers the barrier to entry and increases the demand. And so therefore raises the value of a project. So I'm paying especially close attention to whether there are any announcements relating to this, because it would be a really, really big thing if they can pull it off. Now, the next thing, again, is looking at future collaborations that are announced. So if we go back here, okay, we'll just look. So any kind of good collaboration is going to be worth a hell of a lot. We can already see they've got a pretty decent community with their Twitter following alone, decent engagement. And so you'll soon find wrapped KDA on an Ethereum-based DEX near you, along with bridging to ETH, etc., etc., etc. So I wouldn't get too lost in the technicals here. For me, it's all just supply, demand, and community. And for me, as long as they can keep building collaborations, keep lowering the barrier to entry and providing a really, really good product, then it is something I'm very, very interested in. I'm not currently in this, but for me personally, like I said, I may be getting in here and I may be getting in here. If it breaks above and holds above here, I'll probably be getting in here. Or if it does show signs of going lower, I'll wait for it to take out the liquidity below these lows. And then again, provide some sort of scenario similar to here, where it provides some minor structure breaking, showing that it's grabbed liquidity and now it's showing an effort or a willingness to go above old highs and close and hold above those levels. Then I'll be looking to get involved. Okay, so hopefully that clears things up. I'm interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. Drop them in the comments below. And until next time, guys, take it easy and I'll see you in the next video.